BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. Hello everyone, this is a new appointment for 50 minutes of experience, and today I'm with Tim Semega from Pittsburgh, and Tim has 17 years of experience in photography, and this is so nice. Welcome, Tim.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's really a pleasure. So this is really interesting that you have all of these years of experience in photography, and I asked to myself, how did you start with photography? Because this is probably the beginning is more interesting.
I mean, starting photography, it's kind of interesting. I started when I was young, probably about 15 or 16, and then it was kind of more just started out as like a hobby, and like I took a class in school, in high school, and it was more so kind of like something to pass the time. And I don't know, it kind of just progressed over the years into something that I kind of really enjoyed and found a love for, and kind of just like, I don't know, found out that I was kind of all right at it, and kind of did a bunch of different kind of ventures and many different things. And I don't know, 17 years or years later, I mean, I'm kind of here. I don't know.
I mean, 15, 17, what else? It's a lot. And ask myself if you shoot it every day, at least one film roll. Probably now you have a collection is really something. I mean, it's the fetish for every editor in the world.
Oh, I have tons of stuff, and it's hard to keep track, and like, I don't know, just it kind of all gets washed away sometimes. I'm sure there's so many photos that I have that I just completely forget about, and I'll usually go back through them and kind of look through and stuff. But I mean, there's a lot.
I would love to ask you, are you a photographer right now, as it's your main job?
No, my main job, I'm a carpenter, but I mean, in the past I used to do a bunch of weddings, and like I didn't not necessarily survive off of photography. I kind of keep it on the side, and I don't want to really kind of make that my main thing, because I don't know, I don't want to develop I don't want to say a hatred, but I don't, it's just like making that my main job. I've tried it in the past, and I've kind of like stressed out too much, and like I kind of want to keep that like exciting side to it, and like that, I guess, that hobby type feel to it a little bit sometimes.
So as I see on your profile on Instagram, that in your shooting there are a lot of different subjects, but what I see is really constantly in your way to shoot is a kind of distance from every kind of subject. In every subject, most of your picture has a long distance between you and subject. And did you ever recognize that?
No, I mean, you just like shooting wider, or like, do you mean like, I'm not quite sure I know what you mean. Like,
I mean, the distance we take. Imagine now I'm in front of you, and you're shooting a picture of me, and that there is a distance between me and you. This is in Italian. This study is called prosemica. I don't know in English, which is the real translation, but is a study calculate about also the intimacy we keep with the things we relate. So imagine now I'm in front of you, and the distance between me and you is pretty wide, and this is what I see is constantly inside of your work. And I'm asking to you that if you have recognized that in your picture.
no, I mean, I don't know, I kind of just shoot whatever seems or feels right. I mean, I'll just be walking down the street, and if I feel, I don't know, it's just it's more of a feeling and a therapeutic kind of experience. Sometimes for me, it's, I don't know, like I usually shoot pretty wide. I shoot around like either 28 or 35, and I mean that probably appears to give like the the further distance too. So I mean, I try to get a little bit closer, but I mean,
And how old do you consider what you do in photography from all of these years? Uh, I mean, have you ever give to yourself really like why I do that? This question, like why I do continue to doing that?
um, like why I continue to do photography.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of more of like a therapeutic kind of thing, and like it's nice to kind of like, I don't know, it's more of like a release, I guess. I'll go and I shoot film a lot, so it's like taking that photo and you don't really get to see that photo for a little while, but it's like knowing that like you got that shot, or like knowing that you got like that feeling when you take that, like push that shutter down, it's like you kind of like, I got that shot, and it's like you get it back later and you're like, it is what you thought it was. Or most of the time for me, it's like it's not exactly what I thought it would be, but I mean, it's like when you get those good ones, you get those good ones, and like it's, I don't know, it's just like a good, it's just like I said, the human experience of like making yourself feel good and enjoying something. And this is one of the few things I kind of have that I really enjoy the most. And
yeah. I mean, it's so. Don't take my word as cryptic. It's so nice that you just, yeah, I do it, that I don't think about, I do it, I just do it, no. And but I'm really curious. I'm a kind of person that I like to go a bit deeper in the field, especially in photography, because photography is in a way or another a tool we use to connect with the world we have around us, and in a way or another we also keep the frame of the world is our world, and most of the time is a really unconscious way to talk with ourselves. And I'm really curious now to know, how do you interact with your picture? I mean, you are constructing a profile, okay? So in this case, I'm watching your Instagram, and you are the author of your profile. So in this case, you choose your picture, and you choose the, I don't know if you was thinking, okay, I choose my best, or I just throw away everything on Instagram and I don't give a fuck of anyone. you know.
uh, I mean, I'm kind of like neurotic in that aspect. Like for a while, I shot like kind of like slightly get off subject, but it'll come back. It was like I shot digital for a while, and like I would get into these wormholes of like editing, and like that's kind of why I like film the most, is because it's like it simplifies like everything. So it's like when it comes to like my shooting and stuff, and like picking and choosing my photos for like my feed and like for Instagram and stuff, it's like I kind of go back down to that little rabbit hole of like, I want these three this way or whatever, and like picking and choosing. But like I try to keep things as simple as possible anymore, because it's like once I think about it, once like I kind of try to force myself to like to think it, do it, and just like put it out there, rather than like sit on like photos for a little bit and kind of like, oh, I tend to overthink a little bit about it, like my photos, and I'll just like really obsess and like end up just being like, screw this, I don't want to post this photo, and then like it kind of gets lost in like the plethora of photos that I have, and like I kind of want to just like, when I see something that I take that I like, I try to just like put that stuff out there as fast as I can, and like just so I don't have to think about it. And then I'll like come back later and like reassess, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. This is the sense. I mean, and this is also the way I shoot. I don't think a lot about it, but then when I go back to watching the pictures, I mean, if I will post on Instagram everything I like, will be really a mess. I mean, in the past I did that, and it was a fucking mess. I had everything inside, so, and most of the things I was ashamed about because it was really too much. But yeah, if I have to just draw down a line of what I see about you, it's most of the time there's a really strong connection with the motors in general, and so car, bike, what else? And the landscape of the city, we can say, so this cityscape, and and this for sure talk about you, and this is what I'm thirsting to ask you. It's why this really passion for the car, for example.
Uh, it's in Pittsburgh. I think there's just like a bunch of like there's a lot of like older cars all around places, and like I don't know. Sometimes I just like kind of like just walking around, and there's like some like old rickety car, or like some like vintage looking car, and like I mean it just looks, they just kind of like appeal to just like appeal to me, I guess. Like they're pretty cool looking, and I don't know, I kind of want to capture like all like the curves and the way the light hits, and like just the cool colors and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, but it depends, because yeah, I was thinking like, yeah, probably, I don't know, you grew up in a place where there was many car, I don't know. I'm just imagining, no, but yeah, sometimes can be that you had passion with someone, can be a parent, can be a friend, in your past, in your childhood, and he was passionate about motors, and this is what I ask to myself during the process to watch your pictures in general. As I seen also, sometimes there is a bounce of graffiti in that, and and yeah, I can in a way relate that there is a kind of we can say connection or relation with the street, between you and the street.
Yeah, I mean it's funny that you like said that, like if wonder if there was like a connection with like as far as like growing up with someone with like a passion for cars. And it's like I didn't really think of that until like you mentioned, but like I used to go to like car shows and stuff. I mean, I still do go to car shows and stuff with my dad, and like he always has like his dad was like a part of like the New York City scene of repairing cars and stuff like that. And like he was like the mechanic of New York City, and my dad grew up with like a bunch of cars and like has that passion for cars. And I kind of never really like connected those two things until you mentioned that, and I was like, that kind of makes sense. So but that's funny to make me think about that, like.
That's what we talk about in this podcast. I will in a way, to grab from the picture we show to the people that there are stories behind. Yeah, there is no. I mean, yeah, you can also go outside every day and taking random picture without watching, and really as a sense also that
Yeah.
anything, everything we do it as a sense. Also, if we wanna we wanna sell these stories that there is no sense, we do it without thinking. We do it, I do it for 20 years. I mean, yeah, I also do it from 30 years. Connection with the people, and in every kind of situation, it can be a podcast or can be something else. I love to connect with people, and yeah, I ask it to myself, and I answer to myself many different way to understand why I do it always that, because it's me. And I will love to know why me is like that. And yeah, for sure, as the motors, there are also a lot of music, a lot of rock, and I can understand that you are a musician also, from that, no? So you are passionate about music, no?
Yeah, I've been into music for a while now. I mean, probably just as long as I've been taking photos. I mean, um, it's kind of been like a cool way for me to kind of like see a bunch of places and stuff, and then like kind of like all like intertwines. It's like I go on these tours and I get to see these places, and also I can take photos of these places, and like it's it's cool. I don't tour as much as I do anymore, but I mean it's also, I mean it also has that like emotional connection as far as like photography too. It's like a way to give to create something that's kind of cool. So I mean, like,
yeah, totally. Yeah, create an energy, create something we can share, and instead of that sharing, there is a moment in your life that sorry, there was a fucking thing's really big. What the fuck? There is something like
I can relate. We have in Pennsylvania we have cicadas right now, which they come out every so often, and like there's a tree right outside my balcony
and
that's flying
yeah, because
everywhere.
I was thinking, and then I have seen something was really big close to me, and I felt like, what the fuck? And yeah, to go back, what I was thinking, there is a moment in your life that you felt because of the camera, or because the passion of photography, you had to be in that right position to connect with something or with someone, and was special that moment.
I'm not quite sure what you mean. Could you ask again?
Yeah, if ever happened in your life, if it happened that in your life, that because of a moment you was taking a shoot, or because you was related to photography, you connected with someone or something in particular in your life, and was a special moment that changed or touched you in a particular way.
Oh man, it's hard to. I don't have maybe one specific moment. I mean, there's many times where like, um, I don't know, like it's kind of like there's times where I'll go out and I'll shoot and like maybe I feel like it's just kind of like going through like the motions of like taking photos, and like sometimes I just go out for no reason. Sometimes I like have a feeling where I'm just like I kind of gotta go, and like I'll just go and take photos, and like it's weird because I guess the way I think it's like if I have a feeling that I don't know, like not an intuition, but like I don't know, just like a feeling of like I'm gonna get something good today, like I'll go and shoot, and like I'll usually get something pretty cool. But like it's I don't have one specific moment that's kind of like changed my I guess my whole life or perspective on photography, I guess. I mean, I'll probably think of one later, but I don't know, like I'm not sure.
It's okay. I mean, but I think during this podcast, I mean, now you are the podcast number 31. So after this 30 podcast, I understand that the most interesting part come always after the podcast, because I give sometimes question to the people, so then this question probably will get them answer during the days after.
Oh, yeah,
Because it's just you have to get the influence from this question, then just open a door inside of you, and then after did this podcast, imagine you just take a cup of coffee and think about, there was a fucking moment, this moment.
you get me thinking. Like I've no one really tends to pick my brain about any of this stuff too often, so it's like it's cool. Like I don't know, this is the first podcast thing I've ever done, so it's like
I mean,
I don't know how good an interviewee I am, but
I understood that I'm the one is I don't know how to say in English, but it's giving the first time to of many people in the world. So many people tell me, I never did a podcast in my life. Yeah, don't worry, come here, I do it for you.
Well, thank you. I mean,
but to close in a funny way our podcast, in this last period, I don't know if you should add a lot or not. But ever happened something really funny that you said, that was this moment was so crazy, and I don't know if you should or not, but there was something really crazy.
Trying to think. Okay, so this was probably maybe a few months ago. And it's not super crazy, but I mean, I was kind of, I mean, I guess it's not like exciting crazy, but I was walking down the street and there was these two brothers, these two blind guys. They were apparently, I found out later after the fact, they were two brothers, and they both were kind of like walking down the street like unison, or not usually, like one in front of the other, and then they
Yeah.
both were arguing, and they had their like their walking sticks like so they could to navigate through like the city, and like they were arguing and they were just like yelling at each other, and like I was like, I got to get this shot. So I like kind of crossed the street and I was like walking right past them, and I kind of like shot from like the hip, and I ended up getting a shot of, it was kind of like a cool perspective of like the first brother and the second brother, and they're both like, you see like them talking, and like they seem pretty like, I don't know, like I can't remember if you can see like the expressions on their faces and stuff, but like they, in that moment it was kind of cool, and like I just envisioned this shot of like getting them in like the exact way that I ended up shooting it. But it was just kind of like comical because they're both like vigorously trying to like navigate and like not run into people on the sidewalk, and then they're both arguing at each other, and I'm just, it was just like kind of like a little intense moment of like, I don't know,
Yeah,
sweet the experience like in the city.
this is what exactly I was meaning with that. I mean, pushing you from you out something that's just passing in your mind, and this is what, in a way, I will do it with this project. Also, it's to uh, many times we have a lot of picture, and we don't really, in a way, communicate that to the people who watch our works. I mean, also, if we imagine, you said that you are not doing the photography, you're doing something else, but in a way or another, you're presenting yourself in the world now in Instagram or where else. Also, if you was pushing, putting your picture in the street, you was presenting yourself as a photographer, and then uh, we don't give a fuck if I mean, everyone is a photographer in a way or another. Actually, everyone has a phone, can
Yeah,
take
we
a
all got
picture,
the
and also, even in the worst place in the world, they have a phone to take a picture, but they don't have food to eat. And this is the point. Every one of us sharing something, every one of us is communicating something, and then behind every picture there are thousands of stories. Also, if we think I took this picture just because I like this house, no?
yeah.
But imagine how many questions and answers there are in what you like, why
Yeah.
you like that, and why you liked that before and probably now not, or you continue to like that.
Mm. And it's just like, I don't know, I guess being a photographer and taking photos and like just seeing like the things that like, seeing how I see and being able to like kind of like show other people and like, I don't know, try and create that emotion of like, this is how I felt when I took this photo. Like it's not just like, oh, that looks cool. Like it's more so like a connection, like you said. Like, I don't know, like there was another photo I think I took of there was like this girl on a bike, and there was like, it's like a big like brick building, and like she was like riding down this like alleyway, and um I was like, oh, this kind of like the scape of like the building looked cool because like the field, like they were starting to grow grass and it was like all hay. And then all of a sudden I was like kind of like framing up the shot, and I was like, this looks cool. And then all of a sudden she kind of just like cut and went across the hay field, or like the grass or whatever it would be, and went right across the shot of like where like the building was, and it looked so cool. It looked so like old timey, kind of like um I don't know, like it's just like the tones and everything of like just turned out perfect, and like with like the hay and like the brick and like just like that time of day, and it kind of looked cool, like just that one little bit of like, and she's pretty far away because I think I was shooting pretty wide, so it's like the way just like adding that little person on the bicycle kind of just like going across the screen or like across like the frame is like, I don't know, it just kind of like was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I'm listening, and at the same time, I'm watching your picture. It's nice. So usually I do it. I usually it depends. When I have the some ideas, I give challenges to the people I podcast with, and yeah, I feel
I'm down
really
for a challenge.
I feel really good today to give you a challenge. And the challenge is I will do it another podcast, but in another time. So you have all the time to get that. And my challenge is try to, when you go taking picture, asking to yourself then why you took this picture. And especially if you take picture of someone, after took picture or before, try to create a connection with that person.
Yeah.
And then shoot another picture of that person and see how it changed your vision of this person.
Okay. I'm down for that challenge.
And then you will have two pictures, two different perspective, and a story is a story you only can create because it's you connect with someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that idea. That's cool. I'm always looking for ways to kind of, I guess, progress, like, because there's always things to progress into and like get better at. And it's like, that's one thing. I'm not like a real like go up to someone and ask to take their photo kind of person. I'm more of like you said, like from the distance, kind of like the way I shoot. So it's like that's a new thing for me. So it's like I'm definitely down for the challenge.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So this was Team Semega from Pittsburgh, and thank you a lot.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Learn more about our project at allmylinks.com/BerlinExplorer or visit our Instagram and follow BerlinExplorer project.